I was absolutely cruising through this Nuzlocke until I met the Elite Four. Let me explain. This is Fire Red, but also my first time attempting a Nuzlocke. So watch as I start with confidence and panic where it matters most. You've likely watched some other YouTuber attempt a Nuzlocke and got recommended this channel, so I'll quickly get through the rules as a refresher. Starting off, we've got the Faint Clause. If a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and you cannot revive it, so either box it or release it. For the catch clause, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on a route. If it faints or you run away, that's it for the route. For the nickname clause, you must nickname your Pokemon. This is meant to add a layer of bond between you and your Pokemon. So in this run, I'll be naming my Pokemon after gym leaders or Elite Four members based on type or however close I can get. And just for future reference, I will never name my Pokemon after important characters in the current game I'm playing again. It's going to get confusing real fast. Anyway, these rules are what define a Pokemon Nuzlocke, and for the freaks like myself, you can add some additional rules for some voluntary torment. For example, I'll be including a level cap. A Pokemon's max level is temporarily capped at the same level as the next Pokemon Gym Leader or Elite Four member's highest level Pokemon. No items in battle such as medicine or X items, however held items are okay. I'll also be adding the dupe clause. So if my first encounter on a route is the same species as the Pokemon I've already caught, it does not count and I may try again for a new Pokemon. Also, to eliminate the tedious level grinding by harming the local flora and fauna, I'll be injecting my Pokemon with some level steroids, known as rare candies, to speed this shit up. Is that unethical? Look at this Machoke and you can tell me with a straight face that he's natty. Rightio, let's get into it. First, we are greeted by this old bloke named Oak, and after about 5 seconds of his rambling, he hits me with the age-old question: are you a boy or a girl? I felt around my pants for a little bit and remembered that I'm a boy. On my journey, this little prick named Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister, will be trying to repossess my Pokemon whenever they perish, but I won't be letting that one happen. We get turned into a 16-bit avatar and get sent to the Pokemon world. Heading to Oak's lab, we pick up the obvious goated choice Bulbasaur and we name him Eric. Also, Albert grabs his Charmander and we start our first battle. There are a few back and forths, but I get the first dub. Not even close, by the way. I finally begin my first side quest by picking up Oak's parcel from Viridian City Pokemart and heading down to the lab to hand over the parcel and grab the Pokedex and 5 Pokeballs. And now we can start building a team. Eric was getting lonely and needed some mates, so we got the man-child Mankey named Bruno on Route 22, Whitney the Rattata on Route 2, and Viola in Viridian Forest. After some rare candy substance abuse, my team was ready to brute force through Brock's gym of glorified pet rocks. And this is how it went down. Started the fight by folding his Geodude like a deck chair and vine whipping the Onix into submission. So the fight ends as you'd expect, Bulbasaur and Joyous stay winning. I went and shirt fronted the rock-loving weirdo for the boulder badge so I can pin it to my arm like a Boy Scout. Next on the list is the Cascade badge from Misty, but first we got a detour through Mount Moon to get some more friends. On Route 3, we find Falkner the Spearow and Koga the Zubat. And an unfortunate event happens already, as Bruno takes the first L. Rest in peace, mate. Well, look, it's too early in the game for me to give a shit about this, so forget it happened, alright? Anyway, moving on. Eric evolves into Ivysaur, and I take the Dome Fossil because Kabutops is the Chad. Before our fight with Albo in Cerulean City, we juice the team up. Falkner evolves into Fearow and Whitney into Eradicate. So basically, Whitney handles his team with a very handy move called Hyper Fang. You're going to hear about this move often, so I'm warning you from now. Anyway, hungry for more blood, I head into Cerulean City Gym, and once again, as we all know how picking Bulbasaur works, I swept the gym just using Vine Whip. Seeking an alternate path in life, I started begging to join Team Rocket, but they had something against me and didn't let me join their cult, so I had to tell them how it is. After that, we catch an Oddish named, I think it's pronounced Gardenia, on Route 24. Anyway, knowing how shit Oddish's evolution line is, I pack it in the PC for some decorative purposes. So go ahead and talk to Bill and help him with his roleplay fantasy of being a Pokemon and collect the SSN ticket. Off we go. Before I head on the SSN, I enter Diglett's cave to, well, catch a Diglett. I know, what a surprise. So we name this little dude Giovanni. Next I ran into Spearow on Route 11, but just as a refresher on that dupe clause, my Falconer is the same species as his wild Spearow, so I can skip and try again. This time it's a Drowsy. Now look, this is a fantastic pick for fights such as Koga, Bruno, and Agatha, so I killed it. Ah well. Anyway, Koga evolves into Golbat, giving us a nice power spike for the rival fight. And now with Koga all muscled up, he leads the fight and takes down his Pidgeotto on a 1v1. Not risking that confusion damage, however, I swap into Whitney for an easy Hyper Fang kill. Oh, if I could land it. I was desperate for some damage as his repeated Kinesis moves land, so I use a quick attack for the slightly higher accuracy and almost land that one-hit KO. I missed another quick attack and received another confusion, leaving me in crit range, but I swapped to Falconer to finish the job with the peck. Out comes Raticate and I swap in Eric to tank the Hyper Fang and put him to sleep permanently. Finally, he sends out his Charmeleon, which I send send Koga back out to claim victory. Yeah, that's how it went. I went and sent that poor fellow to mourn the loss of his Raticate while I head upstairs and give the captain a sponge bath. And all I get rewarded is the HM cut for my diligence. I suppose this will do. So I pick up the old rod from the fisherman in Vermilion City and catch a Magikarp named Misty. Evolve her into Gyarados, but we won't be using her for the Lieutenant Surge fight due to her 4 times weakness to electric. I know, what a smart cookie. Now with the HM cut, I can breach Vermilion City Gym and claim that Thunder Badge. So Whitney leads the fight this time by starting the Hyper Fang train, narrowly missing the one hit. I follow up with a quick attack crit, negating Surge's use of the potion. Next is Pikachu. So I'm currently on -2 defense from Voltorb Screech and expect a quick attack to kill, so I switch in Eric to tank it as he goes for a Thunder Wave. Kind of annoying, but I push through it and land a Leech Seed as I expect some bad RNG from the double team Gs. Luckily, I land a Vine Whip that puts him into Leech Seed kill range. Finally, Raichu comes out to display his double team strat just like Pikachu, but I hit him with a Leech Seed and a Razor Leaf to eventually bring him to 0. Great, thanks Diglett, glad I caught you for this fight. So I took the Thunder Badge from the 8-foot tall giant and carry on. I'm a little bitch is afraid of the dark, so I crawl back through Diglett's cave to get the HM Flash. Now I am aware of that 5% Dugtrio encounter, so I avoid using repels here as my team might not be fit to deal with it because my team isn't high enough level to repel the Dugtrio. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now that I'm equipped with the Flash HM, I shamefully pull out Gardenia to light up Rock Tunnel. Been a hot minute since our last encounter, so I pick up this pet rock named Brock and blast through the cave. Minimal messing around here as we chop through Erica's gym of plants. Koga sweeps the gym with ease, having quad resistance to grass and 2 times resist to Volpim's acid. 2-tap the victory bell with a wing attack and dodging the stun spore, laughed at Tangler's attempt to wall within grain and kissed that Volpim to Gulag. An easy Rainbow Badge retrieval. Now, with the level cap increase, my mind is at ease until level 43 for both Koga and Sabrina's gyms. I go and fetch my Eevee encounter from the Celadon rooftop and name him Lieutenant Surge. We box him for now, but wow, what an absolute staple to the team he will be. I pick up the tea from the old lady and head through Route 16 to pick up HM Fly. Also encounter the duo. And I'm out of Pokeballs. Oh, fuck. Ignoring all the flashing lights telling me it's time to start gambling, I tell the Rocket Grunt to piss off and flick the switch behind the poster he was guarding. Nothing interesting happens here except I kept stepping on the wrong tiles for a few minutes. And now it's time for Giovanni. I lead with Eric for an easy Vine Whip takedown on Onyx and Rhyhorn. Big bad Kangaroo Jack comes out and starts boxing my team with bites and Mega Punches. I leave him seeded. And swap in Falconer who gets his head mashed in but survives on 10 HP. Switching Gyarados for an Intimidate and follow up with a Dragon Rage plus Leech Seed tick to kill, securing the win and keeping everyone alive. So pick up the Silph Scope and update our trainer card at the kiosk and spend some time gambling for 4,500 coins. I'll decide on the TM later depending on coverage for the Elite Four. With the Silph Scope at hand, we can head up to the top of the Pokemon Tower, so Albo gets taken down with ease due to the level diff in our Pokemon, so I'll spare you the footage. Eric evolves into Venusaur, Giovanni evolves into Dugtrio, and we catch a Ghastly named Agatha. And finally I save the old guy. On my way to Fuchsia City, I'll play some sick tunes to wake up Snorlax. Welcome, Lenora. Wait, Koga's evolving? No, I didn't press B to stop it, but you can have a guess in the comments why Koga didn't evolve there. Now in Fuchsia City, I head to the Safari Zone to get the Surf HM and find an execute named Erica. Finally, I pick up the gold teeth and exit the Safari Zone. And we enter the gym immediately to navigate the fun invisible wall maze, almost avoiding all the trainers along the way. Now, the moment he's been waiting for, Giovanni comes out to put on a show. Watch and learn, ladies and gentlemen, as this Doug trio attempts to hide from self-destruct by digging a trench. Yeah, good one, dickhead. Alright, now I'm in a bit of a pickle, but I craft a plan. Misty spams Dragon Rage against the Mux Minimize Cheese. Okay, so now I might have to make a sacrifice play. So as I was digging through my team, I saw Whitney on half HP because I didn't heal before the fight, so I had to select her as the martyr. Now what you're about to see is Whitney goes sicko mode. So here she comes with the Hyper Fang and down goes Mark. Still blinded with rage, she stays in, goes in for another Hyper Fang. She tanks the sludge with 4 HP remaining, but she finishes the coughing. Now her rage finally subsides as no exploding gas balls are left, so I bring in Eric to suck him off. Whoa. Anyway, the soul badge is ours and Whitney survives. Oh yeah, and Giovanni didn't make it. Still don't give a shit. Giovanni is surrendered to the Aussie government as the taxman comes to collect. In the power plant, we catch a volatile named Clement and a female tentacle named Seawiki. Entering the Silphco with an average team. Strong enough at this stage, but it's lacking some coverage. I smash through the rocket grunts until the fight against Albo, right before Giovanni. The criminal mastermind, by the way, not my dead Doug trio. So Koga leads the rival battle again with a wing attack to take the first Mon down. Because of the Pidgeot's Feather Dance, we take the Execute down with 3 wing attacks while avoiding 2 stun spores. Swapped in Falconer to drill peck the Alakazam. Misty comes in to scream at the other Gyarados, while also tanking the future side attack set up from the Alakazam. Surviving on 4 HP, Whitney comes in to use... yeah, you guessed it, Hyper Fang. Finally, his Charizard comes out to play. So I use my secret weapon, Thunder Wave. Now that Charizard is slowed, I hit a Hyper Fang. Now it started getting a little smoky in here, so I send in Lenora to double body slam for the dub. Now just before the Giovanni fight, we pick up this gift Lapras and name him So Bold. Now comes the big boss, which was actually very underwhelming. So I send in Eric to set up Growth and Leech Seed on the Nidorino, then a few Razor Leaf to sweep his team. Moving on. Alright, so from Alba to Giovanni to now Sabrina in such a short time, our team is really going through it at the moment. So I sent in Falconer to take down the Kadabra, the Mr. Mime, and Venomoth with Drill Pecks. Now, here's where the big, bad, scary Alakazam comes out, which sets up a calm mind and tanks a Drill Peck. Oh boy, here it comes. So I get heavily punished by the boosted Psychic and Falconer goes down. Alright, that one stung a bit. Lenora comes in to avenge the fallen comrade and finishes the battle with a Body Slam. Alright, now we finally lose someone who's been useful throughout this entire run. While this does suck, it just sucks even more that I have no Pokemon to use Fly. So I made it my mission to get that freedom back ASAP. I quickly go into the fighting dojo and grab the Hitmonlee named Chuck. On Route 17, I catch a Doduo named Winona, evolve it into a Dodrio and Torto Fly. Cool, now we're back. So now it's time for the Cinnabara Island. Absolutely nothing important happens in the mansion, so we get the secret key and leave. I go and revive the Giga Chat I spoke about earlier and name him Rourke. Blaine is not ready for what he's about to face. Entering the gym, we are faced with "Are you smarter than a 5th grader" style questions and march up to beat an old guy for his badge. This fight, we use a mixture of Surf from Rourke and Surf from Misty, and a couple Rock Tombs because I was feeling a little naughty. So I claim the Volcano badge, and then have my badge-seeking conquest interrupted by Bill to go meet his role-playing duo. Now, I don't know if anyone actually likes this part of the game, but not gonna lie, I hate it. So here's a recap. Meet Nerd, get Rock Smash, talk to Distressed Father, Biker Gang, P. Diddy, rescue, watch nerds glaze each other, and we're back home. Now with that out of the way, I'll fly up to Viridian City to pick up the Earth badge. So Rourke and Misty duo this last dance by surfing through his team like an Aussie at the beach. After collecting all 8 gym badges and pinned to my arm, I turn into the Super Boy Scout. I adjusted my team to practice for the champion fight and took on Albo on Route 22. So this new strat is set up agility and take down the Pidgeot. Rhyhorn comes out, so we baton pass to Eric. Now with a +2 speed, I sleep the Rhyhorn and set up 2 growths. Razor Leaf takes down the Rhyhorn and the Alakazam. I put Charizard to sleep, bit of a risky play, but who cares, and send in Sabold. Set up Rain Dance to boost the water damage, hit a weak Body Slam to guarantee the Surf 1 hit and prevent Charizard going into Blaze. Ice Beam takes down Execute and 3 more Gyarados. Albo cops another L and off we go to the Elite Four. So the Elite Four requires careful planning as they have some heavy hitters, notably Jinx, Lapras and Slowbro from Lorelei, Machamp from Bruno, Agatha's Gengas, honourable mention to Arbok, you'll see why, and Lance's Aerodactyl and Dragonite. With a reckless approach, your Nuzlocke journey will end right before the champion. Now, as for the level cap for this gauntlet, I decided on level 60 as it's Lance's highest level Pokemon and will keep me in a fair spot for Albo's level 63 Charizard. My final curated team for the Elite Four and Champion are Lieutenant Surge the Jolteon, Eric the Venusaur, Winona the Dodrio, Lenora the Snorlax, Sabold the Lapras, and Chuck the Hitmonlee. And here is a quick screen cap of my PC so you can backseat my decision in the comments, to which I will laugh at you anyway. Now, as we enter the gauntlet, we are faced against Lorelei as she sends in her devastating Ice, but really no match for electric type Pokemon, as Lieutenant Surge one-shots Dugong, Cloyster and Slowbro with a Thunderbolt. Lapras walls the one-shot Thunderbolt, but I push through the full restores and take her down. I swap Lenora into the Jinx, as she puts me to sleep with Lovely Kiss. Now Sleep Talk into the Body Slam to take the first dub. Now, despite the cold Pokemon, that was a pretty good warm-up. Get it? Man. Anyway, next is Bruno with his fighting type prowess, except his 2 Onyxes. I lead with Eric to Sleep Powder and start setting up some growths. Onyx immediately wakes up and misses the Rock Tomb that would have slowed me down. Now we go miss for miss here as I miss my Sleep Powder and he hits his Rock Tomb that slows me down. That turn was pretty redundant. So I put him to sleep and set up Leech Seed and Growth. In retrospect, Leech Seed was a bit of a waste because a Giga Drain one-shots and would have healed me to full anyway. But after 3 growths, I start my sweep with Giga Drain, which was too early by the way, because Hitmonchan lives with the tiniest bit of health. Oh, now piss off you prick. Now I'm down a PP and I have to stall you with Leech Seed. So during this time I make the most out of the stalling and set up 3 more growths to max out before Machamp. Leech Seed takes down the Hitmonchan and Eric Giga Drains to full on the Hitmonlee. His second Onyx and Machamp come out and die to a Giga Drain each. And that's the end of the fight. Bruno is done and only 3 more fights to go. Now the moment we've been waiting for. Leading the Agatha fight with Winona, I plan to run Drill Peck through her team, but we'll see how the fight plays out. Drill Peck leaves her Gengar on a 3rd HP. Confuse Ray hits and crushes my momentum as I hit myself in confusion, and Gengar sets up a double team. Winona locks in here and snaps out of confusion, landing the Drill Peck to take down mon number 1. I use 2 try attacks to take down the Golbat, pushing through with just over half HP. And now here comes the Arbok. So far, 3 fights have gone well, so I couldn't have seen this going bad just yet. So I send in Chuck to Earthquake, but get hit with a nasty sludge, so I started to panic and send in Eric. Luckily Iron Tail was used to tickle me, so I set up a Leech Seed. Arbok hits me with Screech, so now I'm on -2 defense. Not risking big damage from the sludge, I send in Lenora to tank the next hit. Except another Screech was used. Now this is where I misplay. I try for a Body Slam, but get hit with a nasty sludge, leaving Lenora poisoned and on half HP. Luckily, the Body Slam plus Leech Seed tick from Eric secures the kill, so it's not over yet. Although, I think if the sludge crit, Lenora dies to poison damage there. The run goes a hard south here as her second stronger Gengar comes out, and unfortunately, I'm forced to switch as Lenora is currently -2 on defense, slower and poisoned. I expect the Sludge Bomb, so I swap in Eric to tank a hit, which critically hits, of course. So now I'm screwed. Majority of my team are on half HP, and every switch in will either bring another Pokemon to half, or it will straight up kill them. Faint them, sorry. I send in Sabold to tank a Sludge Bomb, but he lands a Hypnosis, rendering him useless for this fight now. Sludge Bomb does little damage to Sabold, but I struggle to wake up, so I had to swap again. I swap into Lieutenant Surge and gets poisoned by Sludge Bomb. Now behold my current team. I tell myself it's a sacrifice play when it should have been way earlier by sacrificing Chuck, but anyway, here we are. We salute Chuck for helping us regain tempo. Basically, if Hypnosis lands straight away, I get outsped and swept. So Winona comes in and trades a Drill Peck for a Sludge Bomb. Citrus Berry restores, but is in range for Lieutenant Surge to kill with a Thunderbolt. I try for another Drill Peck because switching in would kill my team, but Hypnosis lands, ruining my chance of keeping Winona. One last Sludge Bomb takes down Winona, and I'm gut-wrenched here, as I now only have 4 Pokemon left with very limited type coverage. Lieutenant Surge comes in to take down this destructive Gengar with a Thunderbolt. A sigh of relief, followed by a gasp of despair.
What? Ah, I forgot about you.
Anyway, no need to worry as we take down the Haunter with a Thunderbolt, finishing the battle. Now it's Lance's turn. Confidence levels have dropped as I soldier on with 4 Pokemon, but it is what it is. Lieutenant Surge faces his Gyarados and kills with Thunderbolt. I set up an Agility plus Baton past Lapras so I can outspeed the Dragonite later on. Ice Beam takes down Dragonair and we leave Aerodactyl with a sliver of HP, but at least we land a Lucky Freeze. Lance uses his full restore and I answer with an Ice Beam. He lands another Ancient Power, which would have killed me for crit, but at this point I don't really care, so I finish him off with a Surf. Ice Beam takes down Dragonair and Dragonite, defeating the Elite Four. Now all that's left is Eric, Sabold, Lieutenant Surge, and Lenora against Albo's full team. This part requires incredibly careful planning to make it anywhere near the finish. Essentially, I'll lay some ground rules before going in. If Lieutenant Surge is able to take down Pidgeot, Charizard, and Gyarados, that leaves Sabold for Executor, and Eric for Rhyhorn, and Lenora for Alakazam. Good enough. We'll play around as we go. Let's do it. One last battle of the Parliament House versus the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. I send in Lieutenant Surge against the Pidgeot and set up an Agility to Baton past the Lapras to outspeed the Executor and also to kill the Pidgeot. Except I get Sand attacked, which the accuracy drop will carry on with the Baton pass, so that strat is over. We improvise and kill Pidgeot with a Thunderbolt. Rhyhorn comes in and Eric switches in to tank the Earthquake, which no need to fear, I had Lapras as a backup to kill Rhydon, not Rhyhorn. I Giga Drain the Rhydon for the kill, evening the playing field, 4 Pokemon to each side. Alakazam comes out and I send in Lenora to tank the Psychic. Almost had a mental breakdown seeing this Reflect come up, which means Hyper Beam is not a one hit and leaves me dormant for a turn. Albo uses a full restore and I use a Body Slam, which paralyzes the Alakazam, which procs Synchronize, and because of that ability, paralyzes Lenora. I risk Psychic not critting me to heal to full with Rest. I Sleep Talk into Hyper Beam to kill the Alakazam, dropping the Reflect, and ready for Executor. He misses his first Egg Bomb as I try to Sleep Talk, but of course I wake up early. Egg Bomb lands for some tickle damage. Executor sleeps my Lenora, so I cannot use Rest to heal. We're still healthy, so I'm not too worried. Sleep Talk into a Rest, which happens twice. Finally, a Sleep Talk into a Hyper Beam for massive damage, but unfortunate timing happens as I wake up while on the resting turn of Hyper Beam. I get put back to sleep and go for another Sleep Talk into a Hyper Beam, started with Hyper Fang and now finishing with Hyper Beam. We've come a long way. Gyarados comes in to hit us with the Dragon Rage plus Thrash on Lenora before she could wake up and rest. We are currently 3v2 our way. The light can be seen at the end of the tunnel. Lieutenant Surge comes in and thunderbolts for the one-shot kill, 3-1. Now here's where I make an emotional sacrifice play. Lieutenant Surge outspeeds Charizard, but will leave him in Blade's range for the Fire Blast. Sabold has weaker moves to set up Jolteon for a kill, so I need to safely pivot to Sabold so Eric comes out for one last time. Charizard hits him with a Slash and follows up with a Fire Blast to kill. 2 versus 1. Sabold comes in to dodge that Fire Blast and hit him with a Surf, which activates the Citrus Berry, but won't be enough to stop Sabold. One last Surf takes down Charizard, defeating Albo and winning the Nuzlocke. Now for my first attempt, I think I did pretty well up until Agatha, where I started to crumble, but I locked in and I marched my 4 remaining Pokemon to victory. Stay tuned for more Pokemon upcoming releases such as Legends ZA, Generation 10 and more. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and comment what you would like to see instead. And if you want to see some other gameplay content, consider checking Rytone AU Daily, where I upload a mixture of games such as League of Legends, mainly ARAM, TFT and Arena, World of Warcraft, and just about whatever Steam game I'm interested in at the time. Anyway, the video is going to be too long now, so you can call me Rytone. See ya, cuzzy.